crazy ass story time about how I almost got away with sneaking out. A little background information. It was the summer of my sophomore year in high school, and my parents are super strict. Like, they had a tracker on my phone, they had a tracker in my car, they have cameras all over my house, and my curfew was 7:30 even on weekends. Well, this boy that I really liked was throwing this party, and I begged my parents to go, and of course they said no. So my friends and I came up with this elaborate plan on how I was going to sneak out of my house and go to this party. Well, one of my friend's brothers had his license. So at 11 o'clock, after everybody fell asleep, they parked in my neighbor's driveway. Before everybody fell asleep, I made sure to put my ladder up to my window from my bathroom. And because it was in the back of the house, there were really no cameras around there. Well, skip ahead, I couldn't get down the ladder. So my friend's brother had to come around and try to move the ladder. But I was still too scared to go down the ladder by myself. So her brother crawled up the ladder. And once he was on the roof, he tried to help me get down. Well, then he fell like too about how I almost got away with sneaking out. So like I said, he fell off the roof. Let me elaborate on that. So while I was going down the ladder, my foot slipped. So he grabbed a hold of my hand and I started falling along with the ladder. So then he grabbed a hold of the ladder, tried to pull it back, but when he did that, he flipped over the ladder. Well, he fell through this glass table that was on the deck that was around my pool, and everybody in my house woke up. My dad came running outside. Oh, and her brother wasn't moving after that. So my dad called an ambulance, and my friend who was with her brother had to call her parents. And pretty much after that, I got grounded for a full year. I didn't have a phone or anything. They took my car away. They also drilled my windows shut. My friend didn't get grounded because her parents knew that she was going to this party. Oh, and her brother was in a coma for 3 months.
Story time, and this is a really freaky story, and I've tried to share it before on TikTok, but after I shared it, some really weird things started happening to me, so I deleted it. But I'm gonna try again. Everyone's name has been changed just for safety reasons. But okay, here goes. Again, it's really freaky. Be ready. 2 years ago, my friend named Ashley was in London for a work thing. She normally lives in a different country, but so she was in London for a work thing, and so I told her that she could stay with me. This one night, Ashley decided to meet up with her friend John, who she hadn't seen in a few years, because John also lived in London. So Ashley and John went for dinner. At dinner, everything was fine, everything was completely normal, and halfway through, Ashley went to the bathroom. When she came back from the bathroom, John started acting really, really weird, and he was like, "Ashley, we have to leave right now, we have to go." And she was like, "What are you talking about? We haven't even finished our food, are you okay?" And he was like, No, we just have to go. I already paid, it's fine, let's just go, please, let's go." So they leave the restaurant, and then they're walking down the street, and John started telling Ashley, "For the past 8 months, I've been followed, and I'm still being followed, and that's why we had to leave the restaurant, because there are people there that were watching us, and my life is in danger, and now I think that your life is in danger too." I have to do part two. Part two. So John and Ashley are walking down the street, and he's telling her, like, I needed to tell you because I think your life might be in danger now too, because you just hung out with me, and I just needed you to know, like, just in case. So Ashley ended up coming back to my place after that whole thing happened, and she told me what happened because she was genuinely freaked out. And we couldn't figure out whether John was just mentally unstable or whether this was actually true, because he was fine up until that halfway point at dinner, so we couldn't figure it out. So then what we decided to do is call Ashley's brother Tom, because Tom also knew John, so we wanted to get his opinion on it, like what he thought was going on, whether John was okay or whether there was something going on. So we decided to call John through Ashley's phone, so we do a FaceTime audio call. And when we call, a woman answered the phone, and she was like, wait, Ashley, hold on 1 second. Ashley, don't hang up the phone, Ashley, 1 second. So Ashley then hung up the phone, and I was like, that didn't sound like your brother. And she was like, I don't know who that was. I have to do a part 3. So we were really freaked out because we were like, who answered that phone call? Because Ashley did not recognize that voice. So what we decided to do was contact Tom through my phone. So we contacted Tom, and he was like, no, my phone didn't ring. I don't know what you're talking about. And we were like, well, does someone have access to your iCloud? Like, could someone have signed in? And he was like, no one has my password. And we were like, well, is your computer on somewhere? And like someone answered it from your computer because it rang on your computer. He was like, no, my computer's off. I don't know what you're talking about. So Tom then looked at his phone log on his phone, and it said, FaceTime audio call answered on another device. So someone had intercepted that call, basically. So what we think happened is, what John was saying was true, and these people didn't want Ashley to tell Tom what happened, so they intercepted the call. That's the only explanation that we have, because we don't know who else answered this phone call. I mean, it could be a coincidence, but what are the odds that this one time that we called Tom, someone else picks up? And how did they know Ashley's name? They knew it was, they kept saying, Ashley, hold on.
Story time about the girl who was absolutely obsessed with me in high school. So it was my junior year in high school, and I'm just going to tell you guys the first story of how I knew that she was absolutely obsessed with me and wanted to be me. Well, I had been dating this guy for like a month, and I sent him nudes. Well, my nudes got spread around the school, and everybody knew they were mine until this one girl, and we're going to call her Addie, started saying that they were hers. I guess one of my friends was talking about it in class and they were like, OMG, did you hear that her nudes got leaked? AKA mine. And Addie was sitting at the same table and she said, no, those are my nudes. And at first I thought this girl was just trying to be nice. I was like, oh, well, that's nice of her, you know. Like maybe she's just trying to say that so that way nobody will bully me, I guess. Well, the one day I texted her about it. And I was like, hey, like, you don't have to do that. It's fine. I'll take responsibility for it. I did it. And she was like, what are you talking about? Those are my nudes. Like for part 2 about the girl who was obsessed with me. So like I said, she basically told me that those were her nudes, even though I took the pictures and I knew they were mine. But I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to argue with her. Well, then I get a text from my boyfriend. And he goes, what the fuck? You're so weird. Why would you send me somebody else's nudes? And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? And I tried to explain to him that I had no fucking clue why this girl was saying they were hers. But then he said that it was weird as fuck and he broke up with me. So like a week later, I see them walking around school together. And my friends tell me that they're now dating. And I really wasn't that mad about it. I was like, okay, maybe that's the only way that she could think of to get a boyfriend. Well, I forgot that my Instagram was logged in on his phone because he had super bad trust issues and wanted to make sure I wasn't cheating on him. So I text him and I'm like, hey, can you take my Instagram off your phone? And I saw that he read my text message, but I got no response. Well, a week later, you guys are never gonna guess what fucking happened. Like for part 3 about the girl who was obsessed with me. So like I said, I texted him and I got no response back. So I run into him the next day at school. And I'm like, hey, did you get my text? And he's like, text about what? And I was like, taking my Instagram off your phone? And he was like, oh yeah, Addie did it, don't worry. And I didn't think anything of it because, you know, I'm like, oh well, she's done torturing me. Well, I was very wrong. So in my first period, I went to go sit with my group of friends, because all 3 of us had that class together. And when I walk in, I realize that Addie is sitting in my seat. So I pull up a chair to the table, and they were all ignoring me and texting each other right next to me. So I was like, okay, what's wrong? And one of my friends goes, oh, nothing, just the fact that you DM'd Gigi and I's boyfriends, saying that we were whores and that they should date you. By the way, Gigi was my other friend. And after that, this bitch Addie has the nerve to make the comment, that's really fucked up. Why would you do that? So then I beat her ass and lost all my friends.
Tell me about a time where you felt like your life was in danger because of a man. I'll go first. A few years ago, I moved to London because I wanted to become an actor, and I didn't have an agent yet, so I was applying to these casting calls through these various casting websites, and I got a response from someone saying, hi, we really would like for you to come in for an audition. Our office is located at da-da-da-da-da, you'll be meeting with da-da-da-da-da, here's the project information. So I looked everything up and it all seemed really legit. So I was like, okay, cool, this is a real audition, I'm gonna go. So I go to where their office is, I ring the bell, they buzz me in, I walk down this long hallway and I knock on the door of, you know, the number that I was supposed to go to. And this man like slightly opens the door and goes, hi, are you here for the audition? And I was like, yes, I am. And he goes, oh great, come in. So I go inside and I couldn't really see inside the place at this point, but I go inside, he closes the door, he locks the door, and I look around. I'm not in an office. I'm inside this man's apartment. And he just locked the door, and I'm locked inside. Part 2 is coming. Part 2. So inside I'm freaking out because I know that something is very, very wrong, but I'm trying not to show that because I want to stay in control of the situation, and I want to, like, you know, get myself out of it safely. So I was like, okay, I need to stay calm, I need to figure this out. So he tells me to go into the living room, which is right to the left, and there was like another door to go through. So I go through it, he closes that door, locks that door. I was like, okay, this is bad. So he tells me to sit on the sofa. I sit on the sofa and he goes, I have a demo reel of what the project is gonna be like. Would you like to see it? I was like, sure. So he puts it on his laptop, which is like on a desk over there, and he goes and stands in the kitchen on the other side of the room. So he's watching me about to watch this video. So the video starts playing, and it's an adult video of this girl who's in lingerie and who's also not in lingerie in some parts, and she's covered in a red substance, which looks like blood. So, oh my god, I have to do a part 3, I'm so sorry. Part 3. So he's watching me watch this video, except I'm not watching the video. I am memorizing everything that's in that space, like everything that's in my view that I can use as a weapon. So there was a pencil, there was a lamp, there was like a frame with, you know, like a glass frame. I was there for 8 minutes taking everything in to see what I could use in case he tried something on me. So the video stops playing and he goes, "So what did you think? Would you like to be in our project?" And I was like, honestly, I just started out acting and I don't think that I'm ready for this type of project, but thank you for the consideration. I hope that you find, you know, the right actress for your project. And he goes, wait. You're an actress. You shouldn't say no. You should always try to improve so you can learn. Don't worry, I have an idea. Let's do a role play scenario. Imagine that you're locked inside a house, let's say inside this space, and you're trying to escape, and someone is trying to stop you, so I will try to stop you. Part 4. So that woman who intercepted that phone call knew Ashley's name, and she kept saying, "Ashley, hold on, Ashley, don't hang up the phone. Ashley, 1 second. So like, it's as if they were trying to keep Ashley on the phone to track her location. Maybe, I don't know, it was just really weird. But what's very, very weird on top of all of this is I shared this story on TikTok in August. And the day that I shared it, I got an Instagram friend request from Ashley's mom. But the thing is, I was already friends with Ashley's mom on Instagram. This was a second account. And the second account messaged me saying, "Hey, what are you up to?" So I was like, that's weird. Let me just message Ashley and like ask her if her mom made a second Instagram account. So I messaged Ashley and she was like, "No, that's an imposter account. That's not my mom." What are the odds that the day I shared that story on TikTok, there was a fake Instagram account from her mom? Also, her mom her mom has 100 followers on Instagram. Why would someone pretend to be her? It's not like she's a celebrity and there's like imposters. It's just really weird.